Noctua is widely known for its cooling solutions, the emphasis on high performance and quality, and expensive products. According to the brand new Cybernetics PSU performance database, the Prime TX-1600 is among the best performing PSUs in today's market. So, what if we used a different, higher quality fan in this PSU? Noctua probably considered this and cooperated with Seasonic to introduce the Seasonic Prime Noctua TX-1600. The higher a PSU's capacity, the more challenging it is to keep its average noise output low. The only ally is high efficiency. Since the TX-1600 is a titanium-rated PSU, its thermal loads won't be as high as a platinum or gold-rated unit with similar capacity. According to Noctua, this PSU is around 8 to 10 decibels quieter than the regular version in the 17 to 100% fan speed range. This is something that I will find out during this review. The enormous box has to accommodate one of the largest desktop PSUs available today. On the face of the box there is a photo of the PSU with the fan and fan grill in clear view. There is the 80 Plus titanium badge, but the Cybernetics one is missing. Everything is neatly arranged inside the box and packing foam surrounds the expensive PSU. Inside the nylon case you will find a vast amount of modular cables and the PSU is in another bag. The bundle includes zip ties, velcro strap, a PSU jump starter, mounting bolts, a case badge and many cable combs for the individually sleeved cables. The PSU's dimensions are enormous, making the fan look small. It also uses Noctua's standard colors for its top cover, which some users love while others hate. Thankfully, this is a PSU, so it won't need to go to any beauty contest. We found a heavy-duty power switch at its front side, an IEC C20 heavy-duty male socket and a push button for toggling on or off the PSU's semi-passive fan operation. Around the back, the modular panel has 19 sockets, including a pair of 12-volt 2x6 native ones. The amount of provided cables is vast, including a pair of 12-volt 2x6 cables that can deliver up to 600 watt each. There are also 3 EPS and 6 PCI Express connectors. The number of peripheral connectors is sufficient and the distance between the SATA connectors is adequate. On the contrary, the 4-pin Molex connectors are relatively close to each other. No changes were made to the main PCB compared to the plain TX-1600, only the fan and the top cover are different. Despite the huge PCB, the platform is densely populated. Moreover, I usually don't find large heatsinks in modern PSUs. Although titanium efficiency allows for low thermal loads, Seasonic used large heatsinks to make the fan's noise as low as possible. A bridgeless interleaved PFC is used to achieve high efficiency, along with a full bridge topology and an LLC resonant converter. The 12-volt rail is generated through 16 powerful Nexperia FETs. The same rail also feeds a pair of DC-DC converters which generate the minor rails. Fully desoldering this platform makes it easier to identify all its parts, but I didn't want to do that since I need this PSU to remain fully operational for future testing. The build quality is top and the same goes for the soldering quality. Seasonic used Japanese caps everywhere, both electrolytic and polymer, and the bulk caps have a vast combined capacity close to 2500 millifarads. Because of the large bulk caps and the combined capacity, not one but 2 NTC thermistors had to be used with 20 ohms resistance each. Despite the large PCB, space is still an issue, so both are installed onto a vertical board. The cooling fan is by Noctua, a high-speed version of the NF812X25, which is not commercially available. I have already evaluated these fans on hwbusters.com. This is a high-capacity PSU, so there is no need to push hard OCP at 12 volt and the same applies to the overpower protection. Nonetheless, I would like to see a large difference between normal and hard OCP at 12 volt. Moreover, the OCP triggering points on the minor rails are sky high, and to make matters worse, the difference between normal and hard conditions is minimal. In the 3.3 volt rail, the hot triggering point is higher than at normal temperatures. The rest of the protection features are present and work well, including fan failure protection, which is critical for power supplies. Load regulation. The 12 volt rail has a high voltage level at 20 watt load, which drops dramatically at higher loads, 40 watt and more, affecting the sample's load regulation. If we take that aside, the 12 volt rail remains almost steady from 60 watt up to full load, which is an admirable feat given that the 12 volt rail delivers more than 138 amps at full load. The only rail offering within 1% load regulation is the 5 volt one. Ripple suppression is excellent on all rails. The transient response is very good at 12 volt and good enough at 5 volt and 5 VSB. However, there is room for improvement at 3.3 volt since this rail drops below 3.2 volt in both tests. The PSU passes all ATX version 3.1 transient response tests, but the 12 volt rail drops low, and the same goes for 3.3 volt. The 12 volt rail doesn't perform well, dropping low on all tests. Efficiency is sky high at normal loads. This is not the case though for light and super light loads. The PSU's average efficiency is the highest in the category at 115 volt and 230 volt input. The PSU converter needs tuning for higher power factor readings, mostly at 230 volt. The 5 VSB rail is highly efficient. Vampire power is low. The PSU's average noise output is dead low given its capacity. Fan noise and speed maps 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, 115 volt input. Because of the load pattern that I apply, the fan's semi-passive operation doesn't last long, but the fan speed is within 400 to 600 RPM at up to 1050 watt, so the noise output is below 6 decibels. Actually, the fan's noise doesn't exceed 6 decibels at up to around 1120 watt. Moreover, the fan's noise doesn't exceed the 30 decibel mark even at full load. Compared to the plain TX-1600, the average noise output difference is 8 decibels, which aligns with what Noctua claims. The 230 volt fan noise profile is almost similar to the 115 volt one. The PSU's overall performance is highly competitive. Still, it is funny or sad to see the 6-year-old Corsair AX1600i dominating the charts. Where is the innovation in PSUs? Imagine having a 6-year-old CPU or GPU leading the performance charts. The Seasonic Prime Noctua TX-1600 has the same internals as the TX-1600, but it uses a different fan and the top cover, including the fan grille, has been redesigned. Moreover, it has special modular cables individually sleeved and in Noctua's standard colors. I know some users dislike these colors, but I don't mind them. On the contrary, I like that they give this PSU a unique look. In general, this is a top quality and top performance PSU aiming at highly enthusiastic users with the money to spend to get one of the best PSUs available in today's market. Kudos to Noctua and Seasonic for creating this beast, but there is room for improvement, given that the 6-year-old Corsair AX1600i still leads my performance charts, even though it loses points because it is not ATX version 3.1 compliant. The main asset of the Noctua TX-1600 is the notably lower noise levels compared to the plain TX-1600, which is also pretty quiet. These graphs depict the noise maps of the Noctua TX-1600 and the plain models. As you can see, there is no above 30 decibels region in the Noctua Edition unit, and the differences in noise output at light and moderate loads are also notable. The only problem is that the Noctua TX-1600 doesn't come cheap, priced at €500 in the EU, while in the US market it will be sold for $570. Still, its price is not notably higher than that of the plain TX-1600. Before investing in a new power supply, read my best ATX version 3 PSUs article on hwbusters.com to check all alternative PSU offerings. You will also find this product's review on the same site. That is all. Thank you. Bye bye.